Yes, questions?
Do you fill this out if you filled out one at the table?
No, please don't. Only one. Only one. Yes, that's why I'm only one. If you filled one out yesterday or in the session, you filled one out, just stop them by the table. But great to see you all. Kind of the point of this session is to literally show you all how easy it is to start making music and creating film for video. You don't have to be some amazing film composer to get started with this, and the kids love it when they get to do these kinds of things. So I'm going to walk you through kind of all the steps it takes to make that happen. So I'll talk about why scoring for film. It's great because it's more creative than just teaching music theory. It's kind of like when you start taking piano and then you eventually get like a little MIDI keyboard that has some drum sounds in it, and you're able to play along with a drum beat rather than just the metronome all day long. It makes things more creative, it's more fun. This is definitely one of those things. It's fun too because students can put their own mark on their education by pairing both video and audio together. So it's a great intercurricular activity across the school, and it helps reinforce musical concepts in a new and exciting way. Again, just giving them another way to look at music rather than just as sit down and play and be done and go home and practice some more. This is the funny part. I've done this session a handful of times over the past few years, but as we get more and more tied to our devices and the different apps that continue to come out, chances are they're already doing this kind of thing. I mean, it's really funny. I'll show you some examples of what some folks have done along those lines. So we'll talk about what you need, creating your own, how you go about doing that, some curricular integration strategies to kind of just talk you through some ideas on what you can do in the classroom right away. And if you want a copy of this presentation, write down on the back of that form, that little card. If you didn't get a card, just go ahead and write down on anything. Here, I'll pass this around. If you didn't get a card, this is really getting convoluted here.
I can pass out cards if you want.
Okay, so if you, here's what we'll do. If you want a copy of the presentation, on the back of the card, just put your email address and just put film scoring. Okay? If you have not filled it, this is for if you've already filled out a card. What?
I could post it on the website.
Fine, we'll just post it on the website. Jeez, speak up, would you? 5 minutes gone. I'll get that back. Thank you, Lisa. So Lisa will post it. Done? Done. Okay. And then we'll talk about the different resources that are available for said things.
Meet Jack Torrance.
I'm outlining a new writing project.
He's a writer looking for inspiration.
Lots of ideas. Some good ones.
Meet Danny. He's a kid looking for a dad.
Your father, anybody plans around here?
What's up, Doc?
Jack just can't finish his book.
I know that sounds melodramatic, but there's no way to make it economically feasible.
Here's to 5 miserable months.
But now, sometimes what we need the most is just around the corner.
I'm your new foster father.
I'd do anything.
Climbing up on South Hill,
I love it.
I can see the city light. My heart going boom, boom, boom. Son, he said, write the things I've done to take you home.
Okay, so not exactly how that movie went, right? But through the use of and through everything I'm going to show you today, it's easily possible to do that, and the kids can certainly do that. There's nothing. The beauty of that one is they just took clips of audio and clips of video, and sometimes audio without the video. So they just do because somebody wouldn't be talking, but you'd hear something over a different music cue that is easily pulled out just by dropping video in. And I'll show you some places where to get that video. Not that one, but other videos like it. But totally doable just using a computer and some creativity. So let's see. Is that one?
Meet Jack Torrance.
Moving on. Okay, so again, just taking pieces of the movie and a little bit of audio and just putting some reverb on it and making it sound distant and dark, and then just kind of re-editing the movie however they feel. It's funny because you can get caught up on YouTube looking for like the other day I hadn't seen the new Star Wars Rogue One trailer yet, and so I was looking for it, and in the process of looking for it, it's a trailer for the next Star Wars after Rogue One, and I was like, what? I haven't heard anything about that. So I watched it, and it was just somebody had edited. It was well done. I mean, don't get me wrong, but somebody had just edited pieces of all the movies together to make it look like it was a preview for the next movie, including the last one. So that was a little disappointing. But they're everywhere. I mean, people are just sitting at home making their own trailers these days. Like they'll cut up different movies and put them together, so it looks like there's two movies that are within the same. Like they'll do Marvel and DC and put Batman versus Iron Man, and they'll just totally edit to where it looks legitimate. It's crazy. So one of the things that always comes up is Mac or PC. How many Mac users? PC users? Okay. So some people didn't raise their hand yesterday. I was like, Linux, Commodore 64. So the big question is Mac versus PC. And yes, I have a Mac, but for the longest time, and especially I still at home in my personal home studio have a PC. But that's mostly based around software because I started with Cakewalk Pro Audio software, and it's PC only. And I just stayed with it up through all the iterations and still going strong. And so I've just kind of stayed with it. So that's been my kind of thing. But this is one of these statements that drives me crazy, and I've heard it for the last 15 years, is that you can't be a digital artist unless you use a Mac. And it's so not true. I mean, if that were the case, then Adobe would just say we're Mac only. But they're clearly not. And tons of digital artists and media people use PCs. The question really isn't Mac versus PC, it's really Mac versus a custom PC. So your run-of-the-mill Dells or HPs that you have in your computer lab at school might not be up to par with an iMac, a brand new off-the-shelf iMac, because they're just, I know they're not, and that's okay. You can do certain things with PCs. They're a little bit more cumbersome to get. Sometimes they need drivers. You can't just plug this in sometimes and it just works. Sometimes it might not work, but with a Mac, it'll just work. So that's the kind of thing that you have to look for if you're going to really go after video. Now, granted, any Mac you have, you can get started editing video, and with iMovie, we'll talk about some of the software that comes with, but the specs are generally okay for what you'll do in the classroom. Effects and transitions where you fade from something to something else and getting that to process in real time, meaning play and watch it happen. That depends on the RAM speed, which is the what the computer can process all at once. So the higher the RAM, which is your 4 gigabyte, 8 gigabyte, 16 gigabyte, which used to be hard drive space, isn't that amazing? That all is what's really based around how fast you can do the processing things you're going to want to do for audio and video. And I will say as well, too, that working with video, a lot more space is required both on your hard drive and on with the RAM, because it's just they're bigger files than audio. So again, off-the-shelf computers, they can sometimes be loaded with a lot of stuff, they call it bloatware, stuff that runs in the background that you don't really know is happening that can slow your computer down. And so if you have a PC and you really want to optimize it, there's any number of resources online that are like optimizing your PC for audio or optimizing your PC to run video, and it'll walk you through different steps, just kind of, some of it's like turning off these background services and turning off animations, things you won't miss, but things that'll help your computer to process the things you want it to do more effectively. So moving on more, what you need Mac PC. So Macs have, out of the box, GarageBand, iMovie, iDVD. PCs have Windows Live Movie Maker. Windows 10, you can still get the Windows, oddly enough, the 2012 Essential Bundle has Windows Live Movie Maker in it. And it's not a bad program. We'll talk about that in just a second. Mixcraft is basically GarageBand for the PC, and it's like $55. So that's nothing for what you get. It's in my opinion, it's a better program than GarageBand. It's more full-featured, has a lot more effects, which if you're doing video, you would want that. And the cool thing is, if you bring video into Mixcraft, just by dragging the video file in, it'll open it up. But say you want another video file with that, Mixcraft will let you crossfade those, so which is great. Yeah, what audio program lets you crossfade video? So it's really, really cool that it allows you to do just this tiny little bit of video editing. So if you're like, oh shoot, I should have done that in Windows Live Movie Maker or in Final Cut Pro and I forgot, Mixcraft will let you do that real quick. So again, Windows Live Movie Maker, not a bad program at all. It's really great. A lot of the cool things you can do with just video and audio is just have the students take pictures and have them create a background track for the pictures that they've taken. And then you can go into this program and you can drop the pictures in and get them to crossfade and create nice little slideshows. I asked my wife to marry me and created a slideshow with music. But yeah, and I think actually using Windows Live Movie Maker. And so that's kind of the way you can do that. It's one of the easy things to get started doing really quickly, because everybody's got something they can take pictures on these days. So there you go, create nice slideshows, and then once you create the slideshow in Windows Live Movie Maker, then you can bring it into an audio program like GarageBand. If you're on the PC, it would be Mixcraft or the PreSonus Studio One. You can bring that in then and then go through and create music and have them just tell them visualize what the pictures are and what that makes them feel like, and just start creating music. And that's the beauty of Mixcraft and GarageBand. I'm totally going to get off topic this whole session, so just bear with me. I'm going to jump around a lot. The difference with Mixcraft and GarageBand, they have pre-loaded audio loops, so you don't have to be a professional musician to create. You can actually just pull up a sound that's a guitar playing, and it's an 8-bar guitar piece, and they can drag that in, and there's 8 bars of guitar, and they can drag it out, and then it just loops for another 8 bars. Then they could go through and find a drum kit that matches that. It's a little drum beat going with that guitar. So they don't really have to be a concert pianist to compose music with these programs. It's fantastic. And the thought is that it doesn't take away from them having to learn how to play, is that it makes them want to learn how to, because they go, oh, I wish I learned, if I knew how to play, I could make that guitar do something else instead of just be locked into the loop. So this is a great example of using loops and just a little bit of live instruments. This is just a real short video, just an intro I did for this composer, a director in LA. He sent me the file, and he basically just said, show me, give me something just to play under the intro for this. And so I loaded the video, I just dragged it into Cakewalk Sonar, which is a pro audio program, just like Mixcraft, just like GarageBand. You can do the same thing in those. And then I just kind of watched it and just kind of pulled up some sounds and just tried to, see what came to mind. So I'll give you just a clip of this. So the guitar part that you'll hear is an audio loop. I did not play it. Actually, I did play it, but it's a software instrument, so it's not an actual guitar. It's on a keyboard. bongos and things you hear are loops. I did not record them, somebody else did, and I just used them. It came with your program. So a real quick example of just dropping a video in and going, okay, what am I seeing? What does this sound like? What the guy seems like he's really frustrated with having to get up. Something's on his mind. It sounds kind of contemplative. It wasn't like he was bounding out of bed and it should just be this rousing piece, although it could be, and that might be funny. Kind of like the Shining thing. It doesn't have to be exactly what you see, but chances are if you're working with someone, that might be what they want. Otherwise, just do whatever you want for fun. So this is Pinnacle Studio HD Ultimate. This is what used to be owned by Avid, so it has a lot of high-level features in it. $75 for one copy, and this is just video. It has some audio. You can do audio tracks, but it's multi-track video. It's on par with Final Cut Express, which is actually gone now. It's just Final Cut Pro, and it's dirt cheap if you're a Mac user. But this would be for PC users that want to go a little bit deeper.
How does it compare to iMovie?
It's a little bit more full-featured than iMovie. iMovie I find pretty limiting as far as multiple video tracks and multiple audio tracks and being able to do different things like that. If you just want, one video track and one audio track, then iMovie I think is great, and a lot of folks use it just for that, for creating your own stuff. But I think Final Cut is it $199 or $299? I think it's $299, which is not terrible when you consider that it's what the pros use. That's not a bad price. And that's education, consumer, doesn't matter. So again, here we are talking about other creation options. Media Composer is the primo. There's Final Cut and there's Media Composer, and those are really like the finale and Sibelius of video editing programs. Final Cut Pro, again, Mac only. Sony Vegas Pro is PC only. Just another option. And you can literally just Google search Windows Video Editor, and you will get tons of different options, and I'm sure there'll be a free download, and then it'll, time out in 14 days, but at least you could check it out and see what works for you. A lot of different options. Screen grabbing software is a really good idea. I will just throw that in. I wasn't going to talk about it. But screen grabbing software will allow you to record what's on your screen. So it's a good example of being able to do that legally. I don't know. I'm not going to. Just know that that's an option if you want to. I don't know what the rule is on using something for education. I probably should know that. I feel like if you use it for education, it's a certain length. It's okay. I don't know. But the screen grabbing software will allow you to take whatever's on your screen and record it, and then it drops it as an audio file onto your computer. So if I wanted to video myself doing this presentation, I could record my audio into the computer, and the screen grabbing software would record me going through the slides and talking over it, and then I'd be able to have that at the end of the day. So that's an option as well that I didn't plan on talking about, but thought it's useful. Okay, so more useful tools. USB microphone, extremely handy, especially if you're doing any type of voiceovers, which is an easy way for the students to create some music, shoot some video, and do a voiceover. I say they walk around the campus and shoot video of trees and birds and bugs. And then they bring it in, they create a little music that they want to talk over. A USB microphone is fantastic for this. This is Audio-Technica's 2020 Studio cardioid condenser microphone. High quality microphone. They just stuck a USB plug on the end of it so that all you have to do is plug it into a computer and it's ready to go. Works with Audacity, works with GarageBand. Great mic, $99 for this guy. Not a bad price, and comes with a little tripod stand. You can just sit right there. Another useful tool is a handheld recorder. This is our favorite little audio recorder. This would be great for going out and having the students, I was going to say stand by the road and record cars going by, That's probably not a good idea. Depends on the kid, I guess. But if they just wanted to get sound of someone walking by, and they could use something like this that would get a high quality wave audio recording, which is high quality audio, and this is $199. Very easy to just get it up. You can see I've turned it on, and now I'm in record ready mode, so it's listening to my voice and getting a level, and I can adjust that level with some buttons on the front. Then I push the recording button again, and I'm off and running. And that's it. And then it just drops it on an SD card, and then at the end of the day, they could go in and drop their files onto the computer and listen back to what they have, put it into Mixcraft or GarageBand, and edit that file then to what they need based on what they need for their project. Okay? So kind of starting to create Foley or their own sound effects. Another little option, everybody's got a phone of some kind these days, and if you have an iPhone or an iPad, then you're in luck because there are a lot of great options for you. This is the Shure MV88. This is a multi-pattern stereo microphone. So the cool thing about this guy is it plugs right into your iPad or your iPhone, and adjustable, directional, and with the app that is free, you can actually change this from a cardioid microphone, which would be hello, hello, test 1, 2, to an omnidirectional microphone, which would be picking up all the way around. So multiple uses, multiple patterns. You can change the width, so if you want to record something wide, you can change that all with the app. It's really, really cool. You don't really have to touch the mic. So you can see kind of how that's what it looks like. And you can use that to record. Great for recording your ensembles, great for recording anything you want to record. And again, then you have the file on your phone, and the student has it on their phone. They can email it to themselves and then drop it right into Mixcraft or GarageBand. Okay? This is another option, a little bit less. This guy actually, I just saw, this guy is actually $69. I said $99 yesterday, and he has gone down. $69. This is very similar. Mid-side stereo microphone recording for your iPad or iPhone that has a lightning connector. Okay? So again, great high-quality recording right there. Okay, additional useful tools. This is the, this is over there. Bring it over. Oh, it's not working. So this is the LPK25 by Akai. It is mini keys. They may look full-sized. Actually, that's pretty close. They may look full-size, but those are actually mini keys. This have octave up and down buttons. It'll work with an iPad, or it'll work just plugging it in with the included cable to a computer. Mac or PC, great for entering notes in Finale. It's great for entering pieces, playing parts into GarageBand. But this is $60. Very, very portable, so that's a good option. And then I also have this guy over there. It's the Master Key 25, full-size 25 keys. Some additional MIDI controls. You have a pitch bend wheel. This functions as a volume slider. You can actually put a sustain pedal on this, so piano players that need to have sustain, that's an option for you with this guy. Again, $60 for that guy as well. Did I have this one in there? No. But I will show you this one. This is the CME X key. It's extremely portable. I have, hold please. Let's, we'll see now. I'm going to get out of PowerPoint and break something. Let me open something new. No. So this is GarageBand because I have a Mac. That's just the way it is. So what GarageBand just did is I had to just pull up just a blank canvas of different pianos and electric pianos. But now, button. So very, very portable, slips in a laptop bag. And GarageBand, I can just go through. Now I have an electric piano there, a tone wheel organ. And you have octave buttons. So I can play the same section. So you never really run out of keys unless you're, composing a concerto, which, why would you do it on that? Silly musician. So that's a CME X key. It is $99, just because it's so portable and so Mac-ish, and it has different colors as well. I have this gray and I have black over there. So if that's of interest to you, that's a nice little keyboard. Other useful tools would be a video camera. Haha, wonder why. We're talking about video. So this is a great option. This is probably my favorite. This is the Q8 by Zoom. High quality audio recorder that they decided, hey, you know what, let's do video as well. And this is like the 4th or 5th iteration of a Zoom video recorder, but ultra wide lens. You can see how wide it is, 160 degrees. I like this one for a couple different reasons. One, the great, awesome wide lens allows you to not have to be too far away from what you want to record. So if you were to get this to try to record your band, don't put it in the back of the auditorium, because you'll never see the kids. I mean, you'll see them, but they'll be way far away because it's picking up way far away. It's a 4-time incremental zoom, so it's boom, boom, boom. It's not smooth, but it's not really for that. I mean, it's basically for recording ensembles, things of that nature. Also, LAM, 2 combo inputs on the back. So it has XLR. This is, for those of you who are unfamiliar with this type of connector, this is called a combo jack. It will allow you to plug a microphone or a 1/4-inch guitar or keyboard cable into it. Okay? So that's what that guy looks like. So don't be freaked out if you see that. You can plug a microphone or a 1/4-inch cable into it. So this is actually a 4-track audio recorder in addition to the video. So you have your video, and then you could have maybe the digital piano plugged in here and a guitar plugged in here, and you would be able to record all 4 tracks separately, and then be able to edit them separately. Okay? Great audio and video recorder. I think I have $389 next door for that guy. A lot of great options there. I'll show you this one too, just because he's small and cute. This is the Q4 by Zoom. $149 for this guy. This is a 130 degree wide angle lens, so still pretty wide. XY stereo microphones built in, and just completely collapses down to that.
I'm sorry,
So-
what was the price again?
This one's $149. The other cool thing about it, and I think I have one actually, so if you want to raise your hand. HDMI out, USB out, all of these are lithium ion recorder rechargeable, and USB. I will say this about these two, sidebar, not anything to do with video, but these will both stream to the web, so through the computer, so you get a free YouTube streaming account or a free Ustream account, and you could stream a concert for a parent that's out of town or grandparents that can never make it, that kind of thing, and it'll stream through YouTube. Yes?
Could you just go back one slide for a second?
I would absolutely love to. What? I'm just kidding. Okay.
Yeah, that.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So these will stream live, so just kind of think about that. There's a new one called the Q4N. I have one next door as well that looks a lot like this guy, but the microphones are they go XY, but they also go out in an AB pattern. So different type of recording ability there. We have, 18 minutes? So hey, what are those? Those are cell phones. If you have an iPhone 6, you've got an awesome, you have an awesome video recorder already. Okay, so the kind of thing I would say is that paired with one of these little microphones, and you have a great video recorder. I see tons of videos of guys videoing themselves, videoing something else, and you'll see an iPhone set up in a stand being used as a video camera because it's just fantastic. So students have phones, and they have the ability to record and create video and send it to themselves via email, and then drop it into Mixcraft or GarageBand and start composing to it. So the type of things you need to learn how to do are importing the video. It's generally fairly simple. Placing markers at hit points. I will tell you, GarageBand does not allow you to place markers, which a marker would be just, why wouldn't we just jump out there and take a look? So this is our timeline. You can follow my cursor. This is our timeline, and setting a marker would be, okay, I'm going to listen to my piece, and right about where measure 4 is, a door slams, and I need to put a door slam in there, or a car crash if I wanted to. So that's what essentially you would need to do there. I'm going to delete some of these tracks real quick. But GarageBand doesn't really work like that because it's just funky, and that's okay. Mixcraft will allow you to, and the beauty of Mixcraft and other programs that are not GarageBand is that while you're watching your video back, you can have, there's like a quick key command in all of those programs where the video's playing and you know it's coming up and someone slams the door and you can just hit your keys and it'll put a marker and you keep watching and you know, oh, that plane just crashed. Put a marker in there. Hope your kids don't have video of plane crashing. I don't know why I thought about that. What? This is a really... Okay, let's just go empty. Sorry. This is what happens when you do things on the fly. Okay, empty project. All right, so first thing I want to do is bring in video. So I'm going to go out to, let's see, show movie track, open movie. I think it's all under presentations. I think I should probably present video demos. Presentations, videos, presentation videos, and there it is. Okay, so we're going to jump ahead in the presentation. So what this is that you're seeing, familiar to half of you?
Come on.
Okay, so this is Super Mario Brothers. Absolutely one of the greatest games ever. And this is a video of someone playing it through in like 18 minutes. Like, just playing through. These videos are available. People upload themselves doing this all the time. Current games, past games. This where I got this, Pens Out, is a site called archive.org. Okay? You go there, don't send the kids, because it's not policed, and your school might not even let you get out to it. But go to archive.org and you can search for, I think I just searched for video games and I found this, and I'm going to totally use it. Free stuff, there's music, there's pictures, there's videos, you can imagine. People just kind of upload stuff, and a lot of there's a lot of old games up there, really cool. Joust, I think, was up there, it's kind of fun. But I thought this would be a good one to use because it just kind of moves and has a lot of jumping around. So archive.org, what you can do is find something, and then you can, however you would push it out to the students, you could use that via Apple Remote Desktop, or how you normally deliver, a project to the students. They bring in a jump drive, you drop it on their jump drive, they take it to their station and plug it in and drop the file into GarageBand or Mixcraft or whatever, what have you. Cool thing about what I just did is I just opened up the movie, and you see what it did here. This is an audio file. Those are waveforms that have been created by the audio playing back. I can come over here and mute that. So now what I have is a completely blank canvas from which to compose. Okay, I can do whatever I want now. So that said, what I can do is I can look here and find out where exactly. I'm going to turn Snap to Grid off. Okay, what Snap to Grid is that you should know is it allows me, if it's off, it allows me to scroll. When I put something in, I can drag it anywhere I want rather than it just being incremental, like that. Okay, so let's go. Open up my loops over here and see if I can find something. Here's that start. Right there. Okay, so these are all my audio loops that GarageBand has. You can see they're grouped: drums, beats, bass, synths, pianos, electric pianos. But then you can also go through and select clean, acoustic, relaxed, cheerful. So if we just click on the first one that comes up, it's not terrible. You can hear it's kind of funky because it's in a different it's at a different, recorded at a different tempo than what I have open. So, but I like 120, so let's leave it there. That's kind of. So what do y'all think? Let's go with banjo. Okay. I can just drag this in. And then, so let's go a little bit earlier. It's just the problem with GarageBand not being able to do hit markers is that I have to kind of guess. But, and I'm going to guess again. Oh shoot, there's more video. Doggone. Well, the beauty of these audio files is I can just drag it. If I go up to where it has the loop icon, I can drag it out and it stops. If I'm looking up here, I can see where the music stopped originally. So, okay, so let's go a little bit further. Okay, let's say I want to just keep that going up until he starts running. So I'm going to stop. I don't like it when I can't see the whole screen. Okay, so let's go right there. And that's going to be a weird stop, but I'm going to stop it there anyway, and then I'm going to go find. That's awesome. Why wouldn't I use that? Okay. Okay, so here we go. Here goes Mario. Okay. It needs to move a little bit more, so let's go beats. And then we can drag that in. Clearly, I have no musical sense, so this is a good example of kids that have no musical ability. Why not? And then you can go back through and go, why does that not work with the other beat? Fantastic. I mean, what are we doing here? Why are we sitting here? Let's go. Hollywood, here we come. Okay, so one other thing I want to try to do on the fly here is maybe try to...
Oh, yeah?
So he hits the mushroom right there. So I want to let's find sound effects. Oh, why not? That works. And then I'm going to put that in. Then I'm going to just drag it over where I need it. See, I can actually kind of see where he hits it and the mushroom pops up. The mushroom comes out, and then he grows right there. So, oh, why not? Perfect. Okay, so here's an example of that loop is way too long. I don't need that much, so I can come over here and I can flip it back. I'm just using the trackpad. I'm not doing anything special. Nope. Okay, that needs to back up a little bit more. That might be a little early. Okay, so it's a little bit further over. Okay, so right in there. Let's see. Perfect. And I left a little extra in there, and it's like he's burning out. Like he's got skin on the ground. Okay. I mean, how much fun and how easy. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. So I'll show you the one I came up with when I was just practicing for this. Before I kind of just came up with kind of the similar stuff. That's actually pretty good. I should have saved it. So this is the one that I came up with. It's not too long, but it actually does include the banjo because that's just perfect. So I'll play you this one, and then we can move on. Like you could see, and I forgot what I'd done when he hit the mushroom up. I used the same sound again. So it's kind of cool, teaching repetition. Well, it's the same thing, just happened, so why wouldn't you use the same sound? You know, it's the same exact thing. So kind of a cool thing to teach them. Okay, so that's, yes?
I think it's also worth mentioning that you are able to expand the length of the measure so you can get really minutely and finely detailed.
Correct. Thank you for saying that. Yes, I can. So if I really wanted to zoom in on this, let me hide these so you can see. And I kind of already have, you can see it's 19.3, these are measure numbers, 19.3.2, 0.3.3, so I'm pretty well zoomed in on this one. Or I can zoom out. There's 19, 20, 21, 22. So you can see how I can get way down deep to really make sure I nail it. Thank you.
And also, I've done this exact project with my students, and I have both musicians and non-musicians, and they get really into this project. It doesn't take a musician to do this project, but also will help hook them into your program as well, to be more involved in your program as well.
Absolutely. So are you finding more non-traditional students are more attracted to this
Yes.
than?
Absolutely.
So what a way to grow a program. And the funny thing about that, so the funny thing about that is that you'll probably find kids that they just want to do this and they don't want to end up playing an instrument, but they also may find that they may want to play an instrument, or they may have a great voice and you had no idea until they got in and they're sitting there humming along with something and you're just like, who's that? You sing, but you would have never known because they're just sitting at home doing their own thing, and here they are coming in here and they're able to create something that's in their head. And this is where you find the producers of the world. They can sit down at a computer and make magic with this setup, just this keyboard and this computer, and then end up being the composer for being a David Foster or someone like that who actually does play the piano. Terrible example. Okay, so we really don't have, you'll have to, it's actually good because the curricular integration strategies and all that is something that, this is important. Archive.org, we talked about that. Again, you go, don't send the students. More material. Animoto. Very, 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 very cool. So Animoto will allow you to upload pictures, and then it just kind of creates whatever it wants with effects, with transitions. You have no control over it. So if you send the kid out, I want you to get 30 pictures of trains. Your project is on trains, and so they have to go find some train. Hopefully, stay away from the tracks. But they find a train depot, and they can take all different kinds of pictures. They can upload it to Animoto, and Animoto will create the file and email it to them, or you. You could actually do this, have control over it, and then give them the file, and then it is what it is, and they have to create music for it. So Animoto is a pretty cool option, and it kind of takes the work out of your hands. Just do whatever you want with the pictures. I don't care. So still photos, the Zoom Q8 or cell phone, great options. We talked about that. That's, again, hard to do in GarageBand, but again, with the being able to zoom way in on your measure, you can line it up pretty much dead on. And again, this is no special. I think this computer has 4 gigs of RAM in it. So, and that was just a simple video file. There's nothing special. The great thing about archive.org is you can select the file type and size. So if you want a smaller file that you can distribute to the kids easily via the local network in the school, you're able to do that. So we talked about that. We talked about how it creates the thumbnails. But all this stuff, since we have to kind of race through, look at this. See, I told you we'd get off topic, and here we are. Turn off the snap to grid function. Yeah, it's cool. You can change the tempo of the music without affecting the playback speed of the movie, so that's nice. If you want to create tempo changes to create dynamics, and add tempo changes to your soundtrack. It's like I created this. So yeah, lots of cool things you can do. It's great, sound effects and all kinds of, if you're watching the movie and something happens on the right side of the screen, that one sound effect can be panned to the right, so that when you're listening to it, like you're watching a movie. I mean, we have to have things great these days because that's what we're being shown. Everything's got to be perfect. So markers. I go back to that all the time because they're so great. Mixcraft will do it. Final Cut will do it. Logic will do it if you're a Mac user. Logic Pro is a great program for you as far as composing. PreSonus Studio One. I will say the bigger keyboard that I have with the Master Key 25 with the 25 keys, full size, that one comes with the PreSonus Studio One software, which you could load. I mean, then that's really $60 per station, plus whatever computer lab you have in your school, and you have a music tech lab ready to go. So very, very easy to get into it now. So we'll skip all that, and I will just show you where the curricular strategy stuff is here at the end. And so it'll give you examples. Lisa will post that, so you will be able to see all the different ideas that different things like this. Silent movies, lots of Charlie Chaplin up at archive.org. I mean, talk about great material to compose to. That's good stuff as well. If you really want to get into this, I think one of the coolest things you can do is find YouTube videos of like when they used to compose to Bugs Bunny and all the Looney Tunes stuff, because that was in Tom and Jerry. That was all done live. You know, big projector screen, and he's conducting the orchestra along with what he's singing. Now, certainly there are markers, and he knows what's coming and where it's going to be, and they would cut the video so that there would be like a blip coming up, and he would know like, okay, 2, 3, boom. So that kind of stuff, it's crazy that I just did that same thing in about 10 seconds, you know? That what they had to do back then is amazing if the kids are really interested in it. So anyway, I can't really jump ahead to my contact info, but if you have any questions, I'll be next door for the next, for the rest of the day. I'm not even going to bother because I'm not going to get through it all, but that's okay. So any questions of any kind related?
Yes. The mobile microphone you have for the iPhone, is there anything being created for like Android or tablet?
You can get a USB converter and just get a USB microphone like that.
Ooh, okay.
There you go. So then you could, any USB mic would work. Like, I mean, this would work. It's a little cumbersome and big, but Blue makes some small ones, like the Mikey. It's a small little microphone that you can plug in. It's kind of USB on one end and microphone on the other. So that could be a nice option for you.
Yeah, they convert regular USB to the micro USB.
Cool. Okay. If you want to just drop your cards in the bag outside the other room. And again, a lot of this stuff is set up next door for you all to be able to kind of browse around and ask questions. So please do. That's why we're here. And let me know if I can help. Thank you. Oh, sorry, one more thing. Sorry. I also wanted to say that